To me, like, or if we just, if we got back into normal world, and this isn't even a question, it's funny to me that we're trying to figure out a way to get these playoffs in, and we're just, well, we just need to make sure our guys aren't injured for the playoffs. To me, that's such a damning statement on what the regular season actually is for the NBA.
No, actually, I think it actually shows you the value of the regular season, because the playoffs are such an intense battle that requires physically, mentally be prepared for that. Because the playoffs are not for any move forward. In the playoffs, it's like it's a bloodbath. I mean, it's like it's just, win or go home type. It's really a lot of pressure and intensity involved in that, and that's why you see the truly elite players shine in the postseason. You might see guys who are regular season players don't always perform well in the playoffs, and vice versa. You see guys elevate their games in the playoffs because that's when the true stars emerge, when the true cream rises. And it's tough to go from not playing for several months. I mean, can you imagine? Sure. Instead of you had a preseason, you went straight to had a playoff. Like every fall, you started with the playoff. You were like, man, like this is pretty intense,
Yeah, I get that, but to the fans, and that's who it's all about. Like that's where we are, because the fans aren't watching. TV ratings are down, and those sort of things. To me, this is kind of shedding light on that, and really how the NBA has become, a playoff, a 2-month season because of the playoffs mean so much.
They do. I mean, and they are important. I think it's one of the reasons why, people want to continue the season. And I suggested, I think, kind of naively when just right before I was so decided to suspend the season, I suggested they go ahead and just cancel the games anyway, or just, postpone it until, we get out of this, whatever, the coronavirus. I didn't realize back then that this was only the beginning and that we were going to be probably for a long haul with this. Personally, I feel like it's sort of, I think it's something you just accept that you just say, okay, the season is lost. And it's sad, but it's also, there's no more sad than the people who've lost loved ones or lost jobs or anything else on a grander scale of what, coronavirus is, affecting. I think that, in that perspective, maybe not everybody's been touched, but maybe it's just that everybody hasn't been touched yet. And who knows where we'll be a month or 2 or 3 months from now. And to try to just go ahead and say, let's just focus on these games, it's kind of tough because, you don't know who's going to be impacted. I mean, we already know that a number of players had it, and they clearly have been cleared of the symptoms, but what about their family members or loved ones? You saw Carl Anthony Towns, and, you saw situations, you just don't know what's going to progress over the next couple of months or weeks. I personally feel like not just the NBA, but every sport, college football, NFL, you name it, baseball, everybody just has to focus on seeing how we get past this first hurdle before we can even think about anything else. Because whatever projection you make, whatever numbers you say, okay, well, by July this will be this and that's it, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen by then. I think hope is just that we can have a normal fall and get back to that. Trying to extend the 19-20 season to go all the way towards the end of the 20. To me, I feel like that's a little smart to ask for. Sometimes you got to just count your losses and say it ain't happening.
Michael Lee joining us here on Fox Sports Radio, covers the NBA for The Athletic. Dan Byer, Jonas Saxon for Doug Gottlieb here on MSR. Michael, you've been covering the NBA for a while. Can you compare this time to anything else, like bizarre circumstances or just strange days in covering the league? Can you compare this to anything else since you've been covering the NBA?
No, I mean, I remember the lockout in 2011, which was unique, but that wasn't a start. The season started and it stopped, and you just kind of knew that things were going to progress, and you might wind up losing the season. And I remember during the lockout, though, guys were still working out with each other. Kevin Durant had a huge summer, but he was playing pickup ball, and all his places at the Rucker and, in D.C. and all those other places, dropping 60 and having a crazy summer. Guys were organizing charity games across the country and, going on tours, and then guys were in Vegas for the whole summer, and they were running their own kind of league there. And it just sort of was like a renegade period, where everybody was just doing their own thing to an agreement. But this situation, what makes it so unique, is different from that. And again, like I said, there is no access to gyms. everyone's locked down. Everyone's in their home, and there's no place for guys to convene. You know, they can't just, and you can't play pickup ball now. These are Rutgers, but the rims are down at the Rutgers. You can't play basketball anywhere. So, I mean, right now, it's, you know, I remember that summer, one of the models that came up with the slogan, basketball never stops, basketball never stops. Basketball has stopped. Like, it really has stopped. And it's something that everything has stopped. Everything is shut down now. So even if I try to compare it to the lockout and, you know, in what happened in 2011, 12, this is unprecedented. And I remember when, you know, the night that Adam Silver decided to shut everything down, I was at the Sixers Pistons game, and Dwayne Casey said, you know, basically that usually we lean on sports in times like this to help us get through, you know, crisis. Said, but now we realize we're all the same. We're all the same here. Like, we're all going through it. And it's one of the truly unique circumstances, not just for me as a sports writer, but just as a human to experience this and to, like I said, be here locked down, you know, spending a lot of quality time with my kids, you know, and doing these types of things that you never would have anticipated. And so, yeah, this is something that none of us would ever face, and I don't know how we're dealing with it. I know a lot of people are doing TikTok dance. I'm not one of those people that are going to do that this year. I think if you do see me doing TikTok dances, you know that I've crossed a different level of crazy through this process. So right now, I'm staying sane. I'm just binge watching TV shows and other things. But yeah, this is a truly unique circumstance, and I don't know when we go back and look back on this year and chronicle just how everything was impacted, we won't have anything else that'll compare.
Okay, final one for me. How did Darpax come to an end at a time like this in Chicago?
Well, I think it was something that, you know, had to happen. You know, I think it's something that every Bulls fan probably is celebrating now. They're probably popping champagne through all their misery in other ways. Yeah, because it had to happen. I mean, when you have that many years of no progress and you don't appear to be moving in the right direction, and, you know, you're wasting talent, you know, guys who appear to be, you make some drastic political views really wise. They trades appear to be wise, but then there's nothing being executed on the court. At some point, you got to find a guy who has a sustainable vision that you can follow through, and that's good. So, way overdue. It's honestly that happened a long time ago, maybe before they just you know, I think that things were just moving in the right direction, and you can see now the Bulls are sunk to just a level of relevance that, you know, for a major franchise, one of the marquee franchises, they shouldn't be bottoming like this consistently all over. I think the Knicks, the fact that they made a move, of course they always are making moves, but I think the fact that the Knicks made a move, I think it sort of maybe finally encouraged the Bulls that, you know, hey, we can't just continue to be at the bottom. We were a franchise with 6 championships, and it's been over 22 years since we've come close.
He's Michael Lee of The Athletic. Find him on Twitter at Mr. Michael Lee. And yes, read about The Athletic covering the NBA. We appreciate it, Michael. Be safe.
I will. You guys do the same. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Michael. Jonas Knox, Dan Byer in for Doug Gottlieb here on Fox Sports Radio. Get Dan on Twitter at Dan Byer on Fox. That's at Dan Byer on Fox. All right, coming up next. Believe it or not, there are some silver linings in the world of sports. We'll tell you what those are next here on FSR. For all the latest stuff from around the world of sports, it's Rob Berman.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. And we'll start with the news from the NFL. It's an interesting story where the NFL is working with the city of New Orleans about the proposed 2024 Super Bowl. You see, a 17-game schedule would push the game back into the middle of Mardi Gras. So, a little bit of a problem there. Something that maybe the Saints would have thought about if they didn't want a Super Bowl going on that late in the year. Speaking of stadium issues, there is the potential for one in Los Angeles. SoFi Stadium, which will be the home for the Rams and the Chargers, still being built, and it may not be ready for its July 25th debut with the Taylor Swift concert. And it may not be ready for the start of the season with the Rams and the Chargers, is according to Rams COO Kevin Demoff. Bears GM Ryan Pace says it's going to be an open competition determining who will be that starting quarterback in Chicago. You described it earlier. Mitch Trubisky will start as the number one, but he'll get even reps with Nick Foles, and they will battle it out to see who will be the number 1 quarterback. And that's right, Tua Tagovailoa has been cleared by an independent doctor, concluding that he is now structurally sound. The question is, where will he go in the NFL draft? I'm sure we'll discuss it at some point, sometime in the future. But right now, we'll send it back to Jonas Knox, Dan Byers.
Maybe we'll put John Ramos to the test. To that in about an hour or so. He is Jonas Knox. I'm Dan Byer. This is the Doug Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio as we are sitting in for Doug today. There's a lot of negativity going on, and rightfully so. I mean, our lives have turned upside down. So many of us can't remember what day it is. It's difficult going to the stores. Do you feel weird going to stores? Like to pick up a grocery item or...
There's a store near my house that is doing this thing to where they only allow a certain number of people in every 10 minutes. And so I always try and time it right to where I don't have to stand in line with the rest of the losers waiting outside the store to get in. Like it's some prestigious club. They might as well have like a velvet robe and like people checking IDs at the door.
Guy with an earpiece, listening to let you in.
It's just so bad. So I don't feel weird going into the store, but I do look around because everybody's got this terrified look on their face. Like you just assume the person next to you is carrying the Rona. People are holding their breaths as you walk by, and it's like, dude, I showered. Like, what is the problem here? But it's just the behavioral patterns are very weird, very bizarre for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of normalcy, and when you try to be normal, I actually think that gets frowned upon. And I have no problem with it. Like, we had someone in our neighborhood last night pulled up and talking to our neighbors because they were friends, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're like, what is, should we be this close? Like, it has a lot of, it's affected so many things. But what I think that we need to do is we need to figure out some of these positives. And I think that we can find positives in the sports world with what maybe we are going to have to deal with. Agree. And it's the only thing that I think can help us get through. And you pointed out something yesterday that kind of triggered. You were in love with the NBA playoffs being a best-of-3 series.
Oh, look, my biggest problem with the NBA postseason is that there's no surprise. And I credit the NBA because at the end of the NBA Finals, the best team always wins. And you can say, well, last year there were injuries involved and all that. Okay, but injuries are a part of the deal. If you can stay healthy, that's part of this whole process. Availability is the greatest ability, they always say. So the Toronto Raptors are the best team in the NBA last year. It's a war of attrition. They were there at the end. But there's no real element of surprise. And I think the problem with the NBA is that the playoffs go so long and everything's a 7-game series. So if you play it out over the course of 7 games, the best team is always going to come out on top, as opposed to the NCAA tournament where it's a 1-game playoff, or the NFL playoffs where it's a one-game scenario every time out. You could see a potential upset. In the NBA, you don't have that. So the fact that we would limit the number of games, I think would make it that much more interesting.
Yeah, I think that it could, depending on what sort of response it gets, can make these leagues think of things. I don't think that they're going to go less games in the playoffs because it's just they want more money. And as we talked about yesterday, the NBA does want to give their best teams in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
They don't want necessarily a Loyola Chicago run where you had nothing against, Sister Jean and Loyola. It's great.
Sorry, Dan.
It's neat to watch the run, and then when you get to the Final Four, and you're like, oh, great, they're here.
It's like George Mason.
Yeah. I was at that Final Four, and it was neat the first time, and then I was in 2011 when it was UConn, Kentucky, VCU, and Butler. So it was, it's quite like it's neat to have it. Kentucky brought a lot of fans, but UConn doesn't bring a lot of fans. The point being is you want to have your best teams in, and this is something that the NBA is probably going to always have, but to have a 3-game series is something that is unique. I think of having baseball's regular season just being shorter, and I find the talk of should Major League Baseball cut down to 162 to 144. same difference to me. But if you could play an 80-game schedule, throw out interleague play because there's really no reason to have it. You're going to have to change your schedule anyway. Go back to an old school where you're only playing teams in your own league. That is something that I'm tuning in for and makes every single game that these guys play that much more important.
Yeah, I think there's going to be, and I hope that these leagues are actually watching and paying attention. The one that I've always been a big fan of, I know this has been talked about a lot this week, Mark Cuban has made the rounds and discussed this, is the idea of an NBA season starting on Christmas. That's a real possibility for next season. If this season continues and we get some form of a regular season, and then we go straight to the postseason, by the time you finish up your postseason, you're not going to be able to start at the normal start time of the 2021 or 2020-2021 season. You're going to have to push it back. I think just by accident, the NBA is going to have to start next season, if this season continues, on Christmas. And I think they're going to realize this actually works. We're not in competition during July and August when our playoffs are happening because we moved the season back 2 months with anything else. I just hope that these leagues are open to the idea of doing things a little bit differently. And it feels like the NBA has been hesitant to do that. You've got players that have talked about, I don't want to play in an arena with no fans, blah, blah, blah. Shut up, man. You think what's more important? What's more important to the NBA? The 18,000 fans that go to games, or the millions that are going to watch at home during a quarantine? That's what they care about. If they want you to play in front of an empty arena, in an empty space, I've heard everything from a bingo hall to an airport hangar to a casino, wherever it takes place, just make it happen. I think these leagues have got to be open to the idea. And also be open to the idea of maybe this change ends up being a good thing and you might want to use it moving forward. I don't think it's all doom and gloom out there.
I know there's a lot of people are afraid about college football season, maybe being affected, or the NFL season. If there's a way to maneuver a throwaway game where you're just basically giving a team a check to show up to your stadium in college football, I'm all for that. If you're getting rid of a preseason game earlier than we would be with the new CBA, before that kicks in 2021, if we're able to move past that and just say, all right, we're going to only do 3 preseason games this year because of everything that's going on, maybe that's just the silver lining. We have to look into it. Less is more with a lot of these sports, and I think that's what we're getting during this time.
Yeah, I'm tired of week 0 getting disrespected. I'll tell you that right now. Week 0 in college football, I'm tired of it. Like, those aren't real games. Those aren't real tackles being made. Those are real games, real teams, real players, and real coaches. Stop calling it week 0. It's week 1, and week 2 is Labor Day weekend.
That's your thing, right? You're in Hawaii checking out week 0.
Yeah, I'm a week 0 guy. Hawaii gets screwed again. They had to play 15 games last year. By the way, I'm hearing reports, Cole McDonald climbing up draft boards. He could actually be drafted this year.
Oh, interesting. Maybe he'll be at one of your last 10 picks that you already did.
That's a very, very good point. You already, know how about mine works. All right, Dan Byer, Jonas Stocks in for Doug Gottlieb here on Fox Sports Radio. You can listen to the show on the iHeartRadio app. You can get me on Twitter at @TheJonasStocks. Coming up next, though, we will tell you there is one division in the NFL that is the most fascinating heading into next season. We'll tell you who's going to win that division here on Fox Sports Radio.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio.
Let's be honest, we don't need the draft.
Not all agree that the NFL draft will be going on. The Cincinnati Bengals select and we're covering it like we always do. Join us on April 23rd as we find out who's sentenced to the Bengals on Fox Sports Radio. If you're a pro, Lowe's knows how hard you work every day. So it's important that others are working hard for you. We're here to help with the supplies you need to make critical repairs and the products your customers need to keep their homes safe and healthy during this important time. From our convenient curbside loading to spring savings on the products you need most, our focus is to help keep your business moving forward. Lowe's is pro-ready, and we thank you for all you do.
So are you the type of guy that wants to look put together but doesn't want to spend hours shopping? I hear you. This is why there's Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes. Try new styles in the comfort of your own home, and there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time to refresh your look? Get started today. StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
Time crunchers. Run with us on a John Deere Z535MC track mower. Built to mow better, faster. Because sometimes you're up against the clock. Like Sunday evening when you've got to cut the grass before the family gets back. So you mow it full throttle with razor-sharp precision thanks to the Excel Deep blower bag. Then when your family's right around the corner, you're already done. This is more than just grass. It's pride. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Z500 for more.
How much money would you like to save just by doing something you're already doing? How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe. That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary and based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
To slow the spread of the coronavirus, in order to win this war, we spread the word. Because this story is changing by the hour. How long this crisis will last? Check in 3, 4, 5 times today.
These are unprecedented times.
News Radio 810 and 1031. WGY. Streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
You're a winner. You are a winner. You're our winner.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsports980.com/rules.
Okay, Marcus commercial, take one. With a Marcus by Goldman Sachs no penalty CD. Wait, there's a typo. A no penalty CD? That can't be right. No, that's right. No penalties. All right, take two. With a Marcus by Goldman Sachs no penalty CD, you get a fixed rate of 1.7%. 1.7%? Let's just get through the script, okay? Take three. With a Marcus by Goldman Sachs no penalty CD, you get a fixed rate of 1.7% on your money. There are no penalties if you withdraw your balance early. Come on, man. Even if you withdraw your balance early? Look, if you're not going to read the script, I can just do it myself. Okay. With a Marcus by Goldman Sachs no penalty CD, you get a fixed rate of 1.7% for 7 months on your money. There are no penalties if you withdraw your balance early, and you keep the interest you earned. Really? Yes. Sign up for a no penalty CD today. You can learn. Learn more at Marcus.com. $500 minimum balance required to earn saved annual percentage yield, which may change before account is funded. May withdraw full balance beginning 7 days after funding. Rates as of March 20th, 2020. Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC.
The coronavirus is an unprecedented situation that has affected us all. Quick Response Restoration understands the concerns that you may be facing as a business or property owner. Contact Quick Response today to learn more about their residential and commercial building disinfection service.
I'm Barrington Day Thurston, host of the podcast series Bit, where we have candid conversation on the power of genetics. Download the next episode on pharmacogenetics right now and learn what experts have to say about how genetics can play a role in our response to medication and the future of precision medicine.
Precision medicine is supposed to take us directly to that road that's going to be impactful and actually important for our health.
iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, and it's easy to see why. Find Spit, an iHeartRadio podcast series on the power of DNA testing on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you ordered some wipers online with our free same-day store pickup? No problem. We'll grab those for you so you can get back on the road. You know, we also offer free next-day delivery. You just order what you need on AutoZone.com by 10 p.m. and we deliver it to your front door the next day. It's perfect for those projects that can wait until tomorrow. Getting your job done just got easier. Free next-day delivery on eligible items on
School students on a college tour. It shows them that there's a whole world beyond their own. But what's even better is that most of these kids decide college is for them. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it. Find out how you can live united for education. Give, advocate, volunteer. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council. People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council. Fox Sports 980, now on 95.9 FM. S1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio.
It is the Doug Gottlieb Show. I'm Dan Meyer. For the Doug today, John Ramos Show comes up in a little over an hour and a half. How do I know that? Well, let's just say I'm psychic.
This is Game Time on the Doug Gottlieb Show.
Jonas, any guesses on who is presenting psychic to us today?
Oh, God. Let me just think about this.
I'm going to go Eddie Garcia. Let's hear it. Who is presenting psychic today? It is the one, the only, Ralph Irvin.
Once again, Jonas is wrong. Damn it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, man.
So we can make up for it right now. As Bill's general manager Brandon Beane said, the Patriots are still the favorites to win the AFC East, even without Tom Brady. Gentlemen, who will win the AFC East this coming season?
It's starting to become a little bit more clear, Dan.
Oh, man. I love
Dan, I actually in the East. Dan, the 100% a possibility.
I'll tell you who won't. The Raiders.
Now, speaking of those Patriots, Chris Sims mentioned on Pro Football Talk Live that Bill Belichick's son Steve is rising quickly. He could replace Bill to be the new Patriots head coach. Well, the Patriots go Belichick to Belichick.
Oh, that is interesting.
We're already that bored. We're talking about Bill Belichick's son replacing him. I mean,
You also
love of God.
You also have to remember, that's what's so great, is, there are a bunch of different 30 for 30s out there, different documentaries, but you have to realize, like, how difficult it is to run a puppet regime like Parcells said.
Shot. I think the successor is Josh McDaniels. I think he's been there. I think they brought him back for a reason. He turned down the Colts job for a reason. I think Josh McDaniels gets the job over Belichick.
Yeah. The all-time wins mark of all the years that he sat behind Parcells.
Here, and he turned around and he was like, "Is Donald?"
Criminals and identity thieves. During tax season, your personal info, like your name and social security number, may be emailed and shared more than usual. Criminals can steal info from your devices and sell it on the dark. Or use it to commit other crimes, even years down the road. In other words, tax season is a great time to be a cyber thief, making it the best time to help protect yourself. Is a cyber safety membership that helps protect your identity and the info on your devices. One way to prevent all cyber crimes or identity theft or monitor all transactions. But you don't have to let cyber criminals make tax season extra taxing. Save 25% or more in your first year of Norton 360 with LifeLock at norton.com/Doug. That's 25% off norton.com/Doug.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
Watch out for some construction in the left lane on eastbound alternate 7, east of the Mount Road overpass, heading over towards the Collar City Bridge. And the Collar City Bridge is heading on your exit 9 down to the thruway and the north move.
Save 5% on L.
Talking about the coronavirus is key. Don't be afraid to discuss the coronavirus. Be developmentally appropriate. Be reassuring. Focus on what you're doing to stay safe. Stick to routine and have ongoing conversations. Visit childmind.org for resources, support, and daily Facebook Live sessions with child psychologists. Childmind.org.
Orangutans. They're beautiful, playful, and majestic, and disappearing. Every day, as many as 20 orangutans vanish. They starve to death when their homes are destroyed, or are killed when they stray into villages in search of food. The International Animal Rescue is fighting for the survival of the critically endangered orangutan, but we can't do it without you. Please visit International
So you only pay for what you need, unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like the Chew toy. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Taco Bell is delighted to bring you a dynamic duo of dazzling flavors. One, a taco reimagined with crisp lettuce and crunchy red strips. The other, filled with slow-cooked chipotle chicken. Both for the show-stopping price of just $1 each. How's that for a grande finale? The $1 grande burritos only on Taco Bell's Cravings Value menu. Value beyond belief. At participating in locations for a limited time. Contact store for prices and participation, which vary. Tax extra.
Learn more about obstructive sleep apnea.
What will get us through this crisis here in New York City, nor any place else in the country. Again, we're in the middle of a war against an invisible enemy. Look, if another country were attacking the United States of America, if I told you that if and a lot of people are dying who don't need to die, who should not die, if the right medical help and equipment were there for them. Well, you cannot say every state for themselves, every city for themselves. That's whether it was Katrina in New Orleans or Harvey in Houston or all the horrible hurricanes that hit Florida, or even when we experienced Sandy or even more. To the reality, we're trying somehow improvise when the only community of our entire country to help save enlistment the country, send them rapidly where they are needed most, and then move them rapidly. Every other city and state never been done. Priorities are right, but our military have not been brought into this fight in anywhere near the way they could be. And let's be here in the city helping us, but they are part of our military and our reserves. They have not been called up to action. So I'm urging the president and to ensure that our save the most American lives. Well, we need them now. A few more points, and I mentioned to you there's some wonderful people who have been helping us out, but before I go to that very positive, hopeful roll call, I do want to offer personal condolences to our city comptroller, Scott Stringer. Many of us for many decades, and we appreciate him and the work he does for this city. New York City council member, a woman who often was one of the first women in the role she played. Great family. We've lost her, and our condolence, reminder of how personal lost a loved one to this disease. It's very personal for all of us, and we mourn with all the families who have lost a loved one. Seeing the good works of 1,000 respirators. Ford has sent 50,000 face shields, and they were made by Ford and delivered, and that's fantastic. info on this Google Empire State Development Corporation. Empire State Development Corporation. The other is that there's a simple one-page lease addendum for landlords and businesses to modify leases. The lease modification basically says a percentage of normal rent payments are suspended through June, then 1% will be repaid, another percentage may be forgiven, because it's not in the business's interest to close or the landlord's interest for the space to sit empty. I posted a link to this info on Twitter at Joe Connolly Biz. For Bloomberg and WCBS News Radio 8.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Thank goodness for the balance of nature. It just keeps me strong and healthy, and I don't have any aches and pains. I take so many supplements and all the different things they promise, and I'm like, I'm feeling
Jacket and matching leather pants.
Now let's go for a ride and tell everyone that Liberty...
The conference to Mexico and we have the Senate Essential. With money to 25 and 50 both of CBS and Bloomberg's Tracy Johnson. On my toast, on my back, what a difference.
Well, CDW would orchestrate a solution featuring HP LaserJet Enterprise printers to help you protect your network with reliable automated print security.
Can I blink again?
You sure can. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/HP Print Security.
It's time for the 2020 census, but what is the census? For my grandfather, the census meant new possibilities. He came here 50 years ago for a better life, and he learned the census counted everyone to inform billions of dollars in funding each year for things that mattered to him and his community. Thanks to him, we all got counted, which gave us all.
Coronavirus, 646 people have died in New Jersey. The White House says the economy will get worse before a rebound. for all healthcare workers at city-run hospitals. Still some scattered showers this afternoon. We're at 50 degrees here in Lower Manhattan on Friday, April 3rd. Good afternoon, I'm Michael Wallace. It's 4:31 at WCBS. Since yesterday, its biggest one-day total yet. WCBS's Peter Haskell reports Cuomo is signing it or come down. McConnell's small businesses are more guidance.
This is the reason why.
Even agents are working paycheck to paycheck, so
All they'll be allowed are not automatically.
By gender. It's 4:36 at WCBS.
Town Fair Tire is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer with over 600,000 tires in stock. So we sell Toyo tires at prices that can't be beat. We guarantee it. Plus, when you buy your new set of Toyo tires at Town Fair, we always give you the most free services. For the guaranteed lowest price on Toyo tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tires. And I mean,
Stay home. By staying home, you are doing your part to slow the spread of coronavirus. The most vulnerable and our healthcare workers. When you go out for We've had a collision there. We've had a one-car spin out, and the lanes alternately open and closed, so really heavy there on the northbound side. Some southbound rubbernecking delays there as well. If you can, the west side will be better for you all the way up to the GWB. We go back over to the Jackie Robinson Parkway westbound, right in the area of Queens Boulevard. We had a crash and one lane was closed. And on the Grand Central eastbound on the service road, just east of Kew Gardens, right around the Union Turnpike, we have a collision and a lot of police activity there. Reportedly on that service road, right at Union Turnpike, a vehicle into the side of a private home. So again, a lot of activity there on the eastbound side of the Grand Central. One note for you in Greenburgh, southbound side of the Sawmill, just south of the New York State Thruway. We have a collision and one lane is closed there. I'm Tom Minsky in the WCBS Traffic Center. Forecast from Craig Allen calls for some more rain tonight. She's remained pretty light. It's cloudy overnight with still a gusty wind. The overnight low near 40. Mix of clouds and sun tomorrow with a high of 48. For Sunday, there's the chance of a late day sprinkle. Otherwise, cloudy Sunday with a high again near 58. We could hit the 60s on Monday. Right now, some of these light showers still moving through. 49 in Tarrytown, 51 in Port Washington, 50 degrees here in Hudson Square. The Supreme Court is postponing oral arguments scheduled for its April session because of the coronavirus pandemic. The arguments were set for late April. The court says it does not rule out hearing some arguments before the end of the term. Peru today began locking down its population by gender. Women are allowed out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Men can go outside on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Everyone has to stay home on Sundays. Police in Peru will enforce the new rules. 1,400 cases now of COVID-19 in Peru with 55 deaths there.
A small message of hope has become a community-wide art project in one Midwestern town. Here's CBS News correspondent Jim Crisula.
Stuck at home in the coronavirus crisis, Zoe Smith is an town of Pittsburgh in southeastern Kansas who started creating chalk art in their driveway.
You know, this is kind of like spread cheer, especially in this time.
They are now doing it on sidewalks across the town of 20,000. Zoe's mom, Kristen.
I'm very proud of them to want to do something just to spread a little cheer during this time of uncertainty.
Several others have joined in, spreading smiles through the sidewalk art project in their small Kansas town. Jim Crisilla, CBS News.
Closing numbers on Wall Street this afternoon. The Dow fell another 360 points, closing the week at 21,052. NASDAQ lost 13 points, and the S&P was down 38. All three industries down about 1.5% on the day. 441 at WCBS.
Love at first sight? Nah, I thought that was just movie stuff. Until last Saturday. Because last Saturday, it happened to me. Aaron's delivered my brand new Samsung refrigerator. Built-in ice maker, affordable payments, no credit hassles. And now I know what love looks like. What's it look like? And sounds like too. Oh, listen to that.
Rent a home that's easy, beautiful, and affordable. Aaron's for your happy place.
This is Joanne Jenkins, CEO of AARP. Affect us all, and we are here actively supporting you and your community. Every day we're providing trusted information from top health experts, sharing tools to help protect families from fraud, and creating resources to support family caregivers everywhere. As always, you can count on AARP to advocate for you and your family. Join us and stay connected at aarp.org/coronavirus.
442 at WCBS. Now a check of sports. Looks like it's time of change at Rose Hill. Fordham Athletic Director David Roach announced his retirement after 8 years at the school. It'll take effect June 30th. The future of Fordham basketball head coach Jeff Neubauer is uncertain. The Chicago Bulls are looking for a new executive in charge of all basketball decisions, according to ESPN. And among the names under consideration is former Seton Hall star Arturas Karnisovas. The start of the WNBA season has been postponed. Training camp was set to begin later this month. The season opener was set for May 15th. The WNBA's virtual draft will go on as scheduled on April 17th. Former Jets cornerback Darryl Roberts has reached a one-year deal with the Detroit Lions. WCBS News Time, 443.
Craig Allen with a message for my 880 listeners. We know how important it is for you to stay connected online during this time. That's why our friends at Optimum are here and ready to support you. Their network is prepared to meet the demands of your homes and businesses. So whether you're working from home, connecting with loved ones, or taking classes online, you don't miss a beat. I know personally I've been using my internet now more than ever. And thanks to Optimum speeds of up to 1 gig, I'm able to stay connected to all of you. For more on what they're doing, visit Optimum.com. Keep you connected.
An important message from Hackensack Meridian Health to New Jersey residents. If you suspect you've been exposed to coronavirus or are experiencing flu-like symptoms, you can now have a video visit with a board-certified physician without leaving home, reducing further exposure to illness. Visit convenientcarenow.com. Just $20 for New Jersey residents with code HMH20. Free for New Jersey residents 65 and older with code HMH3. Hackensack Meridian Health.
I'm WCBS anchor Steve Scott. I'm Wayne Cabot.
I'm WCBS anchor Linda Lopez.
I'm Paul Murnane. I'm Michael Wallace. We've faced tough challenges in the tri-state before. With support from each other, we've always come through stronger than ever. Stopping the spread of the coronavirus.
We need to show each other kindness and support.
During this crisis, the WCBS team is here for you. And WCBS880.com. For more, go to radio.com/stay connected.
Centers would like to thank their incredible staff that has remained vigilant during these trying times. Not all heroes wear capes, and CareRide is fortunate to have heroes that demonstrate throughout the country.
You are never more than 15 minutes from the big stories on WCBS.
Happy Friday, I'm Michael Wallace. 3 things to know at 4:45. 1, the White House says anyone who will be in close proximity to President Trump or Vice President Pence will first be given a rapid COVID-19 test starting today. Number 2, Governor Cuomo signing an executive order to have the state seize ventilators from hospitals that aren't using them and deliver them to the hospitals that need them. And 3, the DOT has ordered U.S. airlines to offer flyers full refunds if an airline cancels a flight during the coronavirus outbreak. Some carriers had only been offering credits for future travel in an effort to hold on to their cash on hand. On our newsline now here on WCBS is Michael Dowling, the CEO of Northwell Health, New York's largest healthcare provider. Michael, thanks for joining us. What's the scene this afternoon at your 23 hospitals with the number of cases surging in our area still?
Thank you for having me on. Very busy. Very hectic. But I'm frenetic, but under control. We have a great team. The staff are wonderful. And we're in this situation, and whatever they throw at us, we just have to deal with it. So you've got to be calm and optimistic, and make sure you get the job done. I mean, it's not a time for hysteria. It's a time for practicality and realism. And every hospital has completely changed. There's no hospital that looks the same today as it looked a month ago. Every conceivable part of every hospital has been converted to beds, and we're converting more space to beds, because the volume of patients keeps increasing each and every day, and everybody is anticipating as to when the apex is going to be, and when will it start to flatten, and I don't think anybody has a secret on when that will happen. But it's under control, it's being managed, and my compliments to all of the staff on the front lines who do a spectacular job here.
Here. Tell us about your equipment. How are you doing with that, with ventilators, and with the personnel? Do you have enough people?
Well, first of all, on the equipment, we have okay with equipment for the next couple of weeks, 2 weeks, let's say. On vents, we're okay for the moment. We have actually figured out how to convert other breathing machines called BiPAPs. And we made components with 3D printing to be able to convert them into vents. So that provides an opportunity to increase the number of vents that we have, and we have shared that technology and that with every other health system in the region. On staff becomes always the biggest issue as you increase capacity, which the ICU nurses, the respiratory nurses, etc., the pulmonary nurses, and doctors. It's not all the people that get stretched, and so we've been reaching out across the health system, which we've been doing for a while, to get other nurses that have been doing non-clinical work to become clinical. We've been asking nurses to mobilize. We have got other nurses and staffing from across the country. I've been on the phone with a number of other health systems around the country what they're doing. And we have it in the future. And many of them have been willing to send some staff. That's beginning to happen. And so we look at every avenue. And people will have, people will not have to work, and are working harder than ever worked before, more hours than ever worked before, and with more concentration than ever worked before. And that's what you do in the middle of a battle like this. And we are in the middle of a battle, and it's a battle that we're definitely going to win.
Michael Dowling, CEO of Northwell Health, joining us here on WCBS. I'm curious your thoughts on Governor Cuomo's order that he's signing. The state, the National Guard will be seizing ventilators from hospitals that aren't using them and giving them to hospitals.
This is something, I think it's hospitals upstate that have capacity and have equipment. They do not have this issue at the moment. The policy of having them send extra equipment and ventilators downstate is appropriate. And of course, if it dies down here and it flattens out down here and they have a problem up there, then the expectation is, of course, that we would send equipment up to those facilities, which we would do. That's the way you have to work in a situation like this. You all have to share, and for the overall public good. So I think it's a good policy. I think it will relieve some of the pressure, and over the next couple of days we'll see how that's going to work. But I do expect, and I've been in contact with a lot of these hospitals upstate, so I do expect that this will be done voluntarily as well. People will actually come to the table and say, we want to help. We know the situation you're in. We're all in the same business. We may need your help sometimes. So right now we'll give you our help, and then hopefully you'll reciprocate in the future.
The Navy hospital ship Comfort says it's loosening its restrictions to take in more non-coronavirus patients, but you think it should be taking in patients with the virus.
Well, I felt that. I do understand that there is, there are, probably some logical reasons that they have that they may not want to do that. But then if they don't do that, then they have to take, they can't restrict the other kinds of patients who they want to take. They got to loosen the admission criteria because the key is, and this is not trying to be overly critical. I mean, I respect what they're doing and I appreciate their help. But I don't have any, non-sick people in my hospitals anymore. Everybody I have in the hospitals right now has varying degrees of serious illness. So I have no quasi healthy people. And so the admission criteria have overloaded, which is pretty much, by the way, one other thing that's key is our situation we're in at the moment. There's better utility by increasing their admission criteria.
Michael Dowling, CEO of Northwell Health. 23 hospitals in our area. I know you're a busy man. We appreciate you giving us a few minutes today. Good luck.
No problem at all. I thank you so much. Thank you.
452 at WCBS.
Is your marketing more fairy tale than reality? In real life, the tortoise gets crushed. Good products don't sell themselves, and out of sight means out of business. Did It delivers marketing for today. DIDIT.com.
In these times, staying home doesn't have to mean missing out on the medical care you need. You can stay home and stay connected to the healthcare providers you trust with video telehealth services from Valley Health System in Ridgewood, New Jersey. Whether you need ongoing care with a medical group provider or urgent care for a minor injury or illness, you can see a Valley provider with a video visit in the privacy and comfort of your home. Keep your Valley Medical Group appointment or make a new one by joining a video. Services are available on any smartphone. /telehealth. valleyhealth.com/telehealth.
At CDW, we get your organization can be demanding.
I know you're in there.
I know. The marketing team's outside my office. They want their Adobe update now.
With Adobe's value incentive plan, deployed by the experts at CDW, you can quickly and easily manage software subscriptions for the whole team.
Like Acrobat and Creative Cloud?
All included.
Cool. Guys, I'm coming out. Don't hurt me.
Hey, there he
For a
is.
satisfied digital workforce, you need Adobe and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Adobe.
At CBS News, our mission is to provide you with the facts you need to stay safe and informed. CBS This Morning and the CBS Evening News continue to deliver the latest news and developments on the COVID-19 outbreak. You can watch our free streaming service, CBSN, 24/7 at our website or on your phone using the CBS News app. Right now, we know you have a lot of questions and are looking for answers, and we want you to know CBS News is here to help you make sense of it all.
We're sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. For those of you still having to get out there, Napa Auto Parts, Napa Auto Care Centers, and Napa Online are ready to help. That's Napa Know-How. In his briefing just a short time ago, Mayor de Blasio called for a national enlistment effort to recruit more medical personnel, get doctors and nurses to the places they're needed most. In this case, at the moment, New York City. We'll have the latest on that and all the other details of the coronavirus response coming up in 5 minutes here on CBS. 4:55, time for Money News. Here's Bloomberg's Tracy Johnson.
Michael, stocks fell after a March jobs report that captured a snapshot of the first few days of the month and still recorded 700,000 job losses, and so ended a record 10-year streak of job gains. Dow's down 361 points at 21,053. The Nasdaq's down 114 points at 73.73. The S&P is down 38 points, and they're all down around 1.5%. Carnival is finding that customers are skittish about booking cruises even for next year. It says bookings for 2021 are considerably worse than the 2020 bookings were this time last year, even though it is slashing prices. Airlines that have been giving vouchers and not refunds to passengers booked on canceled flights have been ordered to stop. The U.S. Transportation Department says airlines must provide refunds, including the ticket price and fees. With Money News at 25 and 55 on WCBS, I'm Bloomberg's Tracy Johnke.
They don't know your names,
They have never seen you before, but when they meet you for the first time, you become their heroes and lifesavers without names. The entire Major World staff and their families say thank you to everyone who's on the front lines for their courage and efforts to keep everyone safe. Major World pledges to all of you. They will be here for you day and night, today, tomorrow, and forever. MajorWorld.com or 800-MAJOR-AUTO.
Being an Army National Guard is about more than serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard is college affordable, and serving part-time can help you graduate debt-free. Do you want to stay close to friends and family? The Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want. By visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard, aired by the New York State Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're a small business owner, and there's nothing small about what you do. That's why Dell Small Business Technology Advisors give you trusted advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions, like computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, networking, plus thousands of top-brand electronics, accessories, and software. No matter your technology needs, Dell Big Thanks. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
This is an American Red Cross blood donation alert. We are currently facing a severe blood shortage. Healthy blood and platelet donors are asked to give now. Donating blood is safe and can help save lives. Please schedule an appointment by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS today.
God bless America. 21,000 people have volunteered from out of state. These are beautiful, generous people, and New Yorkers will return the favor. When your community needs help, New Yorkers will be there, and you have my personal word on that.
These are unprecedented times. Stay connected with WCBS 880 and radio.com/stay connected. 4:58 at WCBS. Traffic and weather together. Here's Tom Kaminsky.
And Michael, we've got some big trouble now on the Cross Bronx, looking at a roaring vehicle fire. Fire crews have just gotten here now on the eastbound side of the Cross Bronx, just in the area of the Sheridan. So everything is shut. We are seeing the delays build up pretty rapidly back beyond Jerome Avenue. And again, on the eastbound side, everything is shut. The westbound side has rubbernecking, so we'll keep an eye on that. Bell Parkway westbound at Coney Island Avenue. We had a crash there. We go back over to the FDR, which is still very heavy from the 30s right up through the mid-100s. A collision there is at least now cleared away. The Jackie Robinson Parkway westbound at Queens Boulevard, a crash there has been cleared, but we're loaded up on the Grand Central. Eastbound on the service road, right in that area of the Kew Gardens interchange, right around Union Turnpike, a collision police investigation there. Here comes Craig with the forecast.
And there's still some lingering areas of light rain and sprinkles around the area. The heaviest rain is now offshore and circulating around south and then east. So it will now stay offshore from this point on. And tonight's low 40 to 45. A mixture of sunshine and clouds, 54 to 58. Saturday night, call it partly cloudy with lows in the 40s. And while Sunday will be mainly dry, there will be a fair amount of clouds. Sunday's high again, 54 to 58.
This is WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2 New York. Mayor de Blasio is calling for a national enlistment effort for medical personnel to get doctors and nurses to the places they're needed most, like New York. There are over 102,000 coronavirus cases in New York State. Nearly 3,000 people have died. Governor Cuomo announced he'll order ventilators be taken from hospitals in the state that don't need them and given to those that do. The Supreme Court says it's postponing its oral arguments that were scheduled for this month. It's 50 degrees. Still some light rain falling in Manhattan. Good evening. I'm Linda Lopez. More than just the headlines. This is WCBS News Radio 880. It's 5 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Pam Coulter in Washington. Unemployment misery seems to be spreading as fast as the coronavirus in the U.S. The Labor Department says employers shed 701,000 jobs last month. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. The broader unemployment rate showed a jump of 8.7%. And when the Labor Department asked households how many people were working, it showed that 3 million Americans said they were not working, nor were they looking for work. The jobs report was compiled before nearly 10 million Americans filed claims for jobless. The pandemic has disrupted the plans of Detroit automakers. WWJ's Jeff Gilbert.
We should have seen Ford's new Bronco by now, and the cancellation of Detroit's auto show impacted their plans to reveal a new version of their most important product, the F-150 pickup. CEO Jim Hackett says they will be ready to go when the economy improves.
They're all engineered. It's just now, finally coordinating it and launching it.
We could see bigger delays in products that are further out, and maybe even the cancellation of some updates. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
The White House is taking no chances and says COVID-19 tests will be routine for anyone getting near President Trump. CBS's Stephen Portnoy with that.
The White House says the rapid tests will be administered to anyone in close proximity to either the president or the vice president. The aim is to limit inadvertent transmission by people who may not be showing symptoms. Temperature checks are already being done on everyone who enters the White House. Aides say the tests will not be conducted on reporters, even though they're often brought into the room to cover events and sitting in the briefings just feet away.
Not everyone is paying attention to the Trump administration's social distancing guidelines. CBS's Jim Crisula reports.
Despite a statewide coronavirus order limiting gatherings to fewer than 10, nearly 500 people from 6 Midwestern states gathered in southern Iowa's Wayne County for a horse auction. Penny Fetters with the county health board talked to the organizer about health concerns.
He was sympathetic, and he understood that he is getting ready to move, and he said, this was something that he needed to do.
Republican Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds has been pressured to issue a mandatory shelter-in-place order to try and slow the coronavirus spread. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Markets turned in their third down week out of 4. Stocks were down across the board today as investors worried that even worse job loss numbers are ahead. The drop was also fueled by the New York governor's announcement of the biggest daily jump of deaths in the state, an increase of 600. The Dow slid 360 today. This is CBS News.
You can listen to CBS News Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on radio.com or the radio.com app. Download it today.
Your news, live and local. This is WCBS News Radio 880, a radio.com station. It's 50 degrees, rain still falling in Manhattan. Get down to a low tonight, about 45 in the city. WCBS News Time is 5:03. There are over 102,000 coronavirus cases in New York State, and nearly 3,000 people have died. WCBS reporter Peter Haskell has more on Governor Cuomo's new effort to get more ventilators into hospitals in our area that desperately need them.
This is going tricky. Those knows there might be some resistance,
but I'm not going to where the dying, and we have several hundred ventilators in our own state somewhere else.
The need for the life-saving equipment is critical. Numbers in Nassau and Suffolk County are soaring. Each county has more than 1,400 new cases in the past day.
We don't have the same amount of resources on Long Island, and we see an increase in the number of cases on Long Island, and that has us very concerned.
Cuomo wants the counties and states to work together. Peter Haskell, WCBS News Radio 880.
Mayor de Blasio is calling for a national effort to get doctors and nurses to the places like New York, where they're most needed, to fight the surge of coronavirus cases across the country.
A national enlistment effort, a national effort to bring all available medical personnel into the fight against the coronavirus, wherever that fight is raging the most. To recruit doctors, nurses, and medical professionals from all over the country, send them rapidly where they are needed most.
In his press conference, de Blasio also focused on the need for ventilators, saying 15,000 total ventilators are 1,884 people have died. Governor Murphy.
We keep hearing numbers directing that all flags across, and he says the lives we will lose. And we will lose more, Seth. Don't assume that that makes you Superman or Superwoman and that you can ignore challenges. We're going to have to be especially vigilant during these religious holidays.
Steve Burns, WCBS News Radio 880.
Well, that's fair.
To be a hero. And I'm talking to each and every one of you who is practicing social distancing or staying home when you don't want to. You're saving lives. You are my hero, and I thank you for doing that.
And the police department business owners in
98 Continental, individual was given the warning. There was multiple businesses that were running in the building. They were given the warning. They did not listen to that warning. We went back the other day. We evacuated the building, and he got a $5,000 fine to move. So maybe he's going to listen this time.
Sophia Hall, WCBS News Radio 880. WCBS News Time 5:07.
If you need to know the latest news, the hard components are the staff and the supplies.
When you're looking for answers,
The virus is spread by seemingly healthy people who show no clear symptoms.
in this time of crisis,
Keep 6 feet distance at the checkout.
stay connected to WCBS 880.
It is about human beings and human lives.
We will get through it together. WCBS News Time 5:08. It's time for traffic and weather together on the 8th. Let's to the traffic center first. Hi, Tom Kaminsky.
Hi, Linda. Let's go back over to the Bronx with delays on the Cross Bronx eastbound. In fact, we have everything shut down. I'm actually just now starting to see some traffic move through here. This is on the eastbound side of the Sherman. We had a roaring vehicle fire. We did have fire crews get on the scene, extinguish that. It mostly appears to be in the right lane and off to the right shoulder, so we are starting to see some eastbound volume get through that. The westbound side, heavy with rubbernecking, and in fact, we had a separate collision right in that same area. That two-car crash is now off to the right shoulder, but again, very heavy both ways on the Cross Bronx as a result. We've had delays on the belt, westbound side of Coney Island Avenue with a crash there. Collision on the FDR Drive has been cleared in the mid-100s, but it is still very slow on the northbound side of the FDR Drive, at least in that area from 96 on up toward the RFK Bridge. But the delays that we had previously back in the 40s have eased out pretty nicely now. The westbound side of the Jackie Robinson Parkway at Queens Boulevard, a collision there has now also been cleared. One note in New Jersey, southbound 18 Ticey's
With meteorologist Craig Allen.
Alrighty, Linda, we do have some light rain and sprinkles still falling over parts of the region, although the brunt of the rain now, the core of it is offshore, along with that pretty intense and very large offshore storm this evening. Then remaining mostly cloudy overnight and still gusty until the storm gets farther away, lows 40 to 45. Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, 54 to 58, so a better day all around. Partly cloudy. Brief late shower, otherwise most of the day is dry and highs again, 54 to 58. Right now we have 50. Still some sprinkles around, humidity 80%, and a north wind gusting between 20 and 30 miles per hour.
Thanks so much, Craig. WCBS News Time is 5:10. Arlene Stringer Cuevas, the mother of Comptroller Scott Stringer, passed away this morning from complications of the coronavirus. Stringer Cuevas was a former city councilwoman in the 1970s. Scott Stringer called his loss incalculable and said his mother was a genuine trailblazer. Arlene Stringer Cuevas was 86 years old. The National Rifle Association is suing New York State. Governor Cuomo issued the order closing all non-essential businesses, and that included gun stores to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Then the NRA filed suit saying gun shops are essential businesses, and they're seeking a court order to overturn Cuomo's declaration. COVID-19 testing will be rolled out for all healthcare workers at city-run hospitals in New York City. A lack of testing has been a big concern for frontline nurses and doctors, who are increasingly worried they could have the virus or spread it to other at-risk patients. New York Health and Hospitals will begin rolling out the free testing to workers over the next 4 weeks. The tests will first be provided by appointment at any of the hospital system's 11 hospitals or 7 health centers, and they say they can expect test results within 2 days. WCBS News Time is 5:11.
As soon as we're back out in our yard, yep, we get company.
Dandelions, lurking crabgrass, and wheat-stained grass. But Scouts Turf Builder Triple Action takes care of them all. Now, with one bag, you can kill weeds, prevent crabgrass for up to 4 months, and feed for greener grass. Triple Action, so your lawn thrives, guaranteed. Only from Scouts.
Weeds aren't welcome here.
This is a Scouts yard. Pick up a bag of Scouts Triple Action today.
The motto for world-class competition has always been faster, higher, stronger. It's the same for Navient, makers of condensing tankless water heaters. Faster to install and set up. Higher performance and efficiency to provide endless hot water. Stronger with the industry's strongest warranty. All because of the copper-free stainless steel heat exchanger built in every unit. Learn about Navient's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navient contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
time is 5:12. Time now for sports. Fordham Athletic Director David Roach announced his retirement, effective at the end of June. He had been on Rose Hill for 8 years. The status of basketball coach Jeff Neubauer is not known. The Chicago Bulls have reportedly begun their search for a new executive with authority over all basketball decisions. According to ESPN, former Seton Hall star Arturas Karnisovas is among those under consideration. He's currently a top executive for the Denver Nuggets. The start of the WNBA season has been postponed. Training camps were scheduled to open later this month before the May 15th season opener. The league's virtual draft will still go on as scheduled April 17th. The U.S. Women's Open has been moved from early June and pushed back 6 months. It'll now take place December 10th through the 13th at Champions Golf Club in Houston. Cornerback Darrell Roberts has reached a one-year deal with the Lions after recently being let go by the Jets. And those are your sports headlines. WCBS News Time is 5:13.
An important message from Hackensack Meridian Health to New Jersey residents. If you suspect you've been exposed to coronavirus or are experiencing flu-like symptoms, you can now have a video visit with a board-certified physician without leaving home, reducing further exposure to illness. Visit convenientcarenow.com. Just $20 for New Jersey residents with code HMH20. Free for New Jersey residents 65 and older with code HMH-FREE. Hackensack Meridian Health.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I've been working from home. When did my house get so small?
Your house feels smaller than before?
Yes. Where did all this junk come from?
It's invisible until the day you notice it.
You can make it disappear, and all I have to do is point?
Yes.
I don't have to touch anything?
You touch nothing, and we touch only the things we're going to carry away.
When can you come?
We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
When you want junk to disappear, call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hi, I'm WCBS anchor Steve Scott.
I'm Wayne Cabot.
I'm WCBS anchor Linda Lopez.
I'm Paul Murnane.
I'm Michael Wallace. We've faced tough challenges in the tri-state before.
With support from each other,
We've always come through stronger than ever.
stopping the spread of the coronavirus is a mission for all of us.
We need to show each other kindness and support.
During this crisis, the WCBS team is here for you.
Get the news you need from WCBS 880 and WCBS880.com.
For more, go to radio.com/stay connected.
You're never more than 15 minutes from the big stories on WCBS.
Good afternoon. I'm Linda Lopez. 3 things to know at 5:15. One, there are over 102,000 cases of coronavirus in New York State. Nearly 3,000 people have died. Governor Cuomo has signed an executive order allowing the state to take ventilators from hospitals and ordered flags from the state supply and hot staff to honor those who died due to COVID-19. Berkeley says he wants to honor each person lost in the state to coronavirus. And 3, the Supreme Court has postponed its April arguments, but the High Court says it doesn't rule out hearing some arguments before the end of its term. Well, more people cooking at home has led to an uptick in kitchen fires on Long Island. Here's WCBS reporter Sophia Hall.
You see it all over social media. Folks are cooking up a storm, being home 24/7. But here in Nassau County, Chief John Murray, instructor at the Firefighters Museum, tells me they have seen an uptick in kitchen fires in the past week or so.
In some cases, the ovens haven't been cleaned in a long time. And you're seeing some incidents where there's small fires within the oven. At that point, they should just leave them closed, turn the heat off, and the fire will go out.
He says it's easy with most ovens. They are self-cleaning. You press a button and let the machine do its job.
We never throw water on a grease fire because it will explode. The water will turn to steam and the droplets will burn. Fires, no issues. I have mixed feelings on that. If you're familiar with how to use it, know where it is, that's fine. It should be used properly and they can actually split the fire.
Sophia Hall, WCBS News Radio 880. Albany is ready to grant sweeping protections to hospitals and healthcare workers who are treating the surge of patients with coronavirus. The Emergency Disaster Treatment Protection Act is tucked inside budget legislation. The Wall Street Journal says it would largely lift the threat of malpractice lawsuits
as hospitals face overcrowding and shortages of ventilators and other life-saving gear. New York's hospitals have been ordered to increase capacity by 50%, and an industry group says this legislation is a